Hi everyone, we are about to discuss the last type of our rock, which is the metamorphic rocks. We are done with your igneous rock and sedimentary rock, how they are formed, and what are the different processes na dinadaanan ng mga bato natin to form to another rock. This time, let's discuss the third type of your rock, is your metamorphic rock, a new rock from old. Metamorphic rocks are rocks that have been altered, changed, or transformed in the solid state due to changes in pressure, temperature conditions, and chemical actions of hot fluids. Mostly class, our metamorphism agents class is our heat and pressure. Yung dalawa po ang pinaka-importante dito for us to have the metamorphism na process. Your metamorphic rocks has a parent rock, the rock from which it was formed. So it undergoes the process metamorphism. Again, ano nga tawag natin doon sa metamorphism? It means to change form. So your metamorphic rock are produced from your pre-existing igneous, sedimentary, or even other metamorphic rock. So meron siyang tinatawag na parent rock kung saan siya galing, no? Kung kanino po nag-origin yung bato before siya nag-change ng form. Before we discuss about the different types of metamorphic rocks, let's discuss first the process kung paano nabuo ang metamorphic rock, which is your metamorphism. Your metamorphism is a process that leads to changes in the mineralogy, texture, and sometimes the chemical composition of the rock. So na umiiba or nag-change po ang mineralogy, ang texture, and ang chemical composition ng bato ninyo. Pero magdedepende din po kung gaano karami po ang agent or metamorphism agent na ina-introduce sa ating parent rock. It takes place when pre-existing rock is subjected to physical or chemical environment that is significantly different from that in which is initially formed. So because of the metamorphism, ayun nga po, change or nagbabago po ang itsura ng ating bato. Pwede po ang kanyang texture, again, kanyang chemical composition, and even the mineralogy or the mineral composition of your rock. There are three ways in how metamorphism can happen. It can be through recrystallization, neomorphism, or metasomatism. So let's discuss first your recrystallization. Your recrystallization, small crystals of one mineral will slowly convert to fewer larger crystals of the same mineral without melting the rock. Without melting the rock class, as pag-introduce ng init, ang nangyayari po, parang nag-combine lang po yung mga small crystals natin forming a larger crystals. So the mineral composition of your rock is still the same. So kung ano yung mineral composition ng parent rock, ang kinalabasan niya pagdating sa metamorphic rock is still the same. In your neomorphism, it is the process whereby minerals not only recrystallize but also form different minerals from the same chemical elements. So yung chemical composition po ng ating crystals or minerals natin kanina, pwede pong ma-dissolve or ma-disintegrate or paano ba yan siya pag-describe? Parang magdabungkag siya and then mag-rearrange to another chemical element. And so magbungkag siya and then mag-create siya ng another mineral using the same elements or chemical elements na meron sa loob ng bato. So that is why merong nabuo na bagong minerals. Aside from recrystallization na nangyayari, sa neomorphism po, nagkakaroon din po ng bagong minerals because those chemical elements na meron sa previous or sa parent rock natin ng mga crystals na destroy, hindi siguro na destroy but rather na disintegrate and then nag-match siya with the other chemicals forming new mineral. So ayan po ang neomorphism. Metasomatism is the addition or loss of elements. Once your parent rock is subjected to heat and pressure, so metamorphism will happen. So ang nangyayari po, there will be new minerals po formed with only some of the original elements. Konti na naiiwan na iba, tapos meron tayong mga bagong minerals. So there is a changes in mineralogy and chemical composition of your rock. And new elements were added through your hydrothermal migration. The best example for this metasomatism is your marble and your limestone. Your limestone is your parent rock. Once this limestone is undergo ng metamorphism, na na introduce sa heat and pressure, there was a changes sa kanyang mineralogy at saka sa content niya. So that is why ang itsura ng limestone niyo mag-change into same with the image na nasa left niyo, which is the marble. Because of your hydrothermal migration na nangyari din po sa limestone niyo, yan po ang reason kung bakit mas pino or mas fine tingnan ang inyong marble. There are two settings where your metamorphism occurs. It can be your contact or thermal metamorphism or your original metamorphism. Contact or thermal metamorphism is when rock is intruded by magma. Changes is caused by the rise in temperature within the host rock surrounding the mass of molten material. As you can see in the image class, the contact metamorphism occurs kung saan po mismo mas malapit or may interaction talaga or may contact talaga mismo ang source ng inyong high temperature or your heat or your thermal energy to your parent rock. So since malapit siya, the metamorphism happens there. Mas malapit lang, may contact. That's why from the name itself, contact or thermal metamorphism. The second one is your regional metamorphism. Large-scale deformation of rock is happen when rocks are subjected to direct pressure and high temperature. It occurs in very large areas, for example, your mountain ranges. So because of these mountain ranges, bugat ba niya siya? Yes, mabigat siya. So it will give pressure, too much pressure sa ilalim ng lupa. Malaki ba ang area na pwede niyang maipit? Opo. There's a wide space or wide area, not space, but wide composition of rock sa ilalim ang nai-introduce into pressure at the same time napapalapit sa init natin. That is why it's regional. Pangmalakihan ang dating niya. Ayan. Now, another condition that may result in metamorphism is the presence of extreme pressure and heat due to burial of tectonic movements of rock. So as the plate tectonics move, sabi nga natin sa orientation natin, di ba, yung isa sa mga reason bakit nasa-sustain ang lives of planet Earth is your cycle, and one of the best example there is your plate tectonics. As the plate tectonics move, nagapadayon siya sa iyang cycle class, the rocks po na-expose sa ilalim doon sa magma natin or sa mantle natin where masyado nang mainit. So, a wide part of your crust ang na-expose sa mantle natin. That is why metamorphism happen. So again, pag regional, it means ang scope niya is masyadong malaki. Pag contact and thermal naman, yung specific lang or kung sino lang yung may contact or direct contact with your source of your thermal energy or your heat, which is the magma. Possible is your magma. Ayan po. So that's the difference between your regional and your contact or thermal metamorphism. Your metamorphism agents. There are two main metamorphism agents. These are your heat and your confining pressure. The first metamorphism agent is your heat or your thermal energy. This is the most important factor of driving metamorphism. Again, ito yung pinaka-importanting driving factor ng ating metamorphism. Without your heat, mahihirapan po or possible po na hindi po magkakaroon ng changes in form or metamorphism. Now, it triggers chemical reaction that results in recrystallization. Siya mismo main reason kung bakit nagkakaroon ng recrystallization of your existing minerals and the formation of your new minerals. Next is your confining pressure. Your confining pressure, buried rocks are subject to confining pressure. Bakit po? Yun nga po, sa sobrang bigat ng nasa ibabaw, nagkakaroon ng pressure sa ilalim o naiipit siya. The deeper the depth of the buried rock, the greater the pressure. The confining pressure causes minerals to recrystallize into new minerals. Because of this pressure, nagkakaroon ng recrystallization din. And differential stress naman class, ito yung to squeeze the rock. Baka naman po marinig nyo agad yung word or term ng differential stress kasama with your confining pressure. When we talk about differential stress, it is how your rock is being squeezed, squeezed by its pressure. Yan po. So, yan po ang dalawang importante na metamorphism agent, your heat or thermal energy, and your confining pressure. There are two types of metamorphic rocks class. Your foliated metamorphic rocks and your non-foliated metamorphic rocks. When we talk about your foliated metamorphic rocks, These are formed when parallel planes of platy or elongated minerals were realigned due to the effect of the pressure and recrystallization, creating what is called your foliations. May mga parallel lines po kayong makikita sa inyong foliated metamorphic metamorphic rocks rather. It refers to any planar or nearly flat arrangement of your minerals. That's why meron siyang mga paline or parallel lines or planes na nakikita. So, na-arrange ang inyong mineral grains into structural features within the rock. So, rocks are deformed mainly by your folding. Because of that folding, kaya nga nagkakaroon ng parallel planes po ang ating metamorphic rocks. In this image class, these are your different types of rocks, a specific type of rocks, or metamorphic rocks. Magdedepende po siya sa kaniyang temperature and pressure din po. If your temperature nag-increase, mag-change po ang itsura ng inyong metamorphic rock. And then pag mag-increasing po ang pressure natin, mag-change din po ang itsura ng ating metamorphic rock. From your parent rock, na-introduce po into increasing temperature and increasing pressure. That is why na-form po yung shale, slate, schist, gneiss, magmatite natin, ayan po, and many more. Ayan po. So, again po, class, ito po ng mga example na nakikita nyo dito na metamorphic rock are under your foliated or yung may mga parallel planes or na-create due to folding because of the pressure. Ayan po. So, yan po ang example po natin under your foliated metamorphic rocks. The second type of your metamorphic rock is your non-foliated metamorphic rock. It does not have layered appearance. Bakit po? Because it has less stress. And dahil less stress or kulang sa pressure, so when subjected to heat, its mineral grains doesn't change much. So, na-changes pero dili kaayo. So, walang folding masyado nangyayari. That's why wala po kayong makikita ng mga layered appearance or parallel planes sa inyong metamorphic rock. That is for your non-foliated metamorphic rock. Ayan po, huwag nila po kalimutan. When we say foliated, there is a folding during the pressure, pag-introduce ng pressure and heat. That is why meron siyang layered appearance or meron siyang mga parallel planes. And then your non-foliated naman po, walang layered appearance or mga parallel planes na nakikita. In this image class, nakikita po natin dito ang pangalan ng different types of your metamorphic rock. The different types of your metamorphic or the rock names under your metamorphic rock, ito po yung mga nasa left side natin, your slate going to anthracite. Well, on the right side naman po, these are your parent rock, kung saan po nanggaling mismo yung bato. For example, your shale, mudstone, and your siltstone as your parent rock. That is an example of your sedimentary rock, tama? Now, this rock has a grain size of very fine. And then, ang example din po siya, under din po siya sa foliated. Hindi siya nag-blend. So, expected po na may mga layers po or parallel planes tayong nakikita. So, pag hindi masyadong malakas ang pressure at saka hindi masyadong mataas ang temperature, so therefore, ang kayang magawa ng yung shale, mudstone, or siltstone, magiging slate siya. Ayan po. So, ayun po. Another example, your granite or your volcanic rocks as a parent rock. Still under your foliated. Medium to coarse ang size ng grain niya. Now, it was introduced to a very high pressure at the same time, mataas din po ang temperature. So, it will form a rock named your gneiss. So, yan po. I hope clear na po lahat dito sa screen. I think masabtan naman siguro tanan. And then, the lower part naman po pala, the last three, your marble, quartzite, and your andesite. Those are an example of your non-foliated metamorphic rocks. And then, makita nyo na rin po that the parent rock of your anthracite is your coal. So, class, please remember the parent rock and then the metamorphic rock name din po. Okay? So, ano yung parent rock na inyong metamorphic rock name ninyo? So, huwag nyo pong kalimutan yan. Okay? Thank you po. Yun lamang po. I think yun lang po ang discussion natin about your metamorphic rocks, the new rock from old. And we are done with your rocks and minerals. Thank you so much.